So hi everybody, my name is Jessie Lane Lee. If you haven't met me yet, I am a holistic nutritionist, cookbook author, and cooking class instructor. I just love doing these live online cooking classes. I have so much fun with them. So today I am super excited to show you how to make my market ranch salad. Now this salad was inspired by the farmer's market, of course. It's so nice to go, just browse around and pick up everything that looks delicious and fresh. So this salad is really versatile. You can really add pretty much whatever is fresh at the market that time of year and then put the ranch sauce on top. The best part about the whole salad is the sauce because it's a ranch dressing. It has all of those ranch flavors, but there is no dairy, there's no cream, and it's really, really healthy. Fantastic. I'm looking at the comments right now, and now it goes to your general YouTube information. Perfect. So I think that means that you can hear me. We'll just double check that. Gotta love technology, right? So before we start, again, you can view this on YouTube, and then any comments can be done in the comment box on jessielanewellness.com. And I'm going to be monitoring the comments, so if you see me looking down, then that's just me making sure that I'm getting all of your questions. So you can cook along with me and we can make this together. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you have all of the ingredients out. Now this recipe is on page 11 of my Healthy Eating on a Budget ebook that you guys all got for free. So you can have that open on your computer too, or just follow along because I'll be telling you what you need anyways. But you do want to make sure you have a cutting board, a knife, and for later I have my magic bullet. That's what I'm going to use to blend all of the ingredients together. So to get started, we're going to start with our greens. So I have a lot of lovely, delicious baby greens here. So whatever you have, mine is already chopped up. If you're cutting up yours, then you can go ahead and start doing that. But I love all of these greens and really making sure I include a lot of green things into my diet because they're so high in chlorophyll. Now chlorophyll is really important for a number of different things, but it's actually, you can learn more about it in my cookbook, Healthy Fresh Salads. I talk about all about the different phytonutrients. But the main thing I wanted to talk about today with chlorophyll is that it actually improves the intestinal absorption of all the nutrients that we're going to be eating in this salad, and it helps heal the intestinal lining. So if you're someone who has any digestive issues, then eating lots of delicious leafy greens is going to be perfect for you. So the next thing we're going to add in here is tomatoes. So I have two lovely tomatoes here. Oh, they smell so good. If you have a garden, I am so jealous because tomatoes are so in season right now and so delicious from the garden. So with these tomatoes and with everything in the salad, it's a ranch salad, so I kind of do it really casually, and I'm just going to give these tomatoes a really rough chop. So what I like to do is I like to cut them in half. Perfect, someone says they can see and hear me, I'm so happy. Yay! I cut them in half, and then I like to cut off just the little area where the stem is because I find it can be a little bit tough. But you don't have to. I mean, it depends on your tomato, how old it is in terms of how long it's been on the vine, but I like to cut off that kind of little stem end thing. And then I'm just cutting it into rough chunks. So this is kind of a rustic salad. It's supposed to be an easy, fun, throw together salad. So I'm not going to be too picky about the size of everything. So I'm just doing rough chunks here, and oh my goodness, I am so hungry right now. I could just eat one of these. And then I'm going to just throw it in the bowl. So again, tomatoes are fantastic for a variety of different reasons. They have tons of health benefits. But the biggest one we're going to talk today is the phytonutrients it has. So again, in my cookbook, Healthy Fresh Salads, I outline all the different colors and the phytonutrients that are associated with them. So if you're new to phytonutrients, what a phytonutrient is, it's a chemical compound in all the vegetables that give it the beautiful color. And each one has a different property. So the one that tomatoes are most known for is lycopene. Have you guys heard of that one? Probably. That's a good one. So I'm just twisting off the little stem here. And I have a garbage bowl hidden here. I'm going to keep all the little ends and bits and use them later in a chicken stock that I'm making. So lycopene. Lycopene is really great. It's an antioxidant. So we all know with antioxidant that helps heal oxidative damage. So one thing with that is if you're out in the sun too long and you get burnt, antioxidants will help heal that skin. And they do similar work within the body as well when oxidative damage occurs. But when we're talking about tomatoes and lycopene, which is the one in tomatoes, the biggest thing it does is that it actually really helps with bone health and reduces the risk of arthritis. So if you're someone who suffers from arthritis, then this is a really great thing to eat lots of. Or sorry, not arthritis, osteoporosis. If you suffer from arthritis, then tomatoes aren't necessarily the best for you because they are a nightshade vegetable, which means they've shown to cause inflammatory reactions within the body. So if you are someone with arthritis, then I would say skip the tomato or just substitute it with something else. If you want to get lycopene, a lot of the other kind of red fruits and veggies will have that as well. So I'm just about done here. My knife could be a little bit sharper. I probably should have sharpened it before we started here, but it's still cutting really nicely. Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. Delicious. So let me know too in the comments if I'm going too fast, you need me to slow down. I am here for you. You can also pause the live stream at any time. If you got to go to the washroom, someone calls you away in another room, you can pause it and then just press play when you're back, and then I will be able to be back cooking with you in your kitchen. So the next thing I'm adding is a cucumber. So I'm just going to use a half a cucumber. Again, you could use more or less. It really just depends on how much you have and how much you like cucumbers. So I like to cut the cucumber in half, and then I'm going to cut it one more time in a quarter before I start dicing it. Again, really laid back, easy salad. I'm not super picky about the size of my dice because I want this to have a nice rustic feel. So the thing I love about cucumbers, we've got the green in there, so we're going to get some chlorophyll. But also, cucumbers are super, super hydrating. You can see how much water they're leaving behind on my cutting board as I cut them. So this is great for the summer because we're dehydrated, we're running around, and some people find it really difficult to drink enough water. So if you're one of those people that has a hard time drinking lots of water, then eating hydrating vegetables like cucumber can be really helpful for you. So I am just cutting this up here. Awesome. So that was my half cucumber. Again, more or less, not too picky about it. The next ingredient in here is beans. I've chosen to use the yellow string beans. You could do green if you wanted. Again, totally up to you. These are super in season right now too. I love it. So sometimes I do weird things. I like to rip the top off with my fingers, and then sometimes I just rip them up like this because it's easier. If you're a chopper, you can use your knife as well. My bean has like a weird wormhole in it, so watch out for those. Probably don't want that in your salad, especially if you're serving it to kids who are going to pick up on that and get really grossed out. And again, I'm not too picky about the size. Some are bigger, some are smaller. You want to make sure everything's like bite size because you don't want it to be too huge and have sauce dripping down people's chins. You can also use a knife here. I don't know why, I've just always done beans with my hands. I think it's because when you pick them in the garden, you pick them with your hands and then usually snack while you're doing it. I know this year my mom's garden, she grew beans, but the deers kept on eating them, so I think she never actually got enough to make a salad or do anything with. She would just go to the garden and pick a few here and there whenever she saw one almost ready so she could beat the deers to it. It's pretty funny. That's kind of the trials and tribulations of gardening, I suppose. So health benefits of beans. Beans are really cool because they actually have a lot of mineral silicone. So this is a really, really good thing to have in your body, especially when we're looking at bone health and connective tissue health. We have someone saying the picture is not too clear. I don't know. Chris, can you check out the webcam to make sure the picture is okay? Oh, all right. Sorry about that. You might be able to change that in YouTube. If you go into YouTube and make sure you're putting it, viewing in the highest resolution. I know my YouTube tends to default to like the low one, which is kind of grainy, and it depends on your internet connection. So maybe try going into there and seeing if you can up the resolution. I think it's called resolution in YouTube. That might be helpful. So yes, we are talking about this mineral silicone in here, really good for bone health and connective tissue. So if you're someone who has arthritis, I always say arthritis, osteoporosis, or is worried about osteoporosis, then green beans and yellow beans are a really great vegetable for you to be eating lots and lots of. And with all these vegetables, really high in fiber. So we need lots of fiber to sweep clean our digestive tracts, bulk up our stools so they're nice and easy to pass. Perfect. So how are you guys doing this? Are you guys chopping or are you ripping like I am? Maybe ripping. I also like the sound it makes when you rip it. It sounds so cool, like the little here. Can you hear that? I'm putting it right by the mic. I love it. The little pop it makes. I don't know why. It sounds cool. Only if they're really fresh. If they're a little bit starting to get like smushy, then they won't make that fun sound. But when they're fresh, especially when they're like right off the plant, like listen. Oh my god, it sounds so cool. Awesome. I'm a ripper. Yeah, I know. Me too. It's so much more fun that way. Okay, so those are my beans. The next thing on there was an orange pepper. I was only able to find yellow, so I'm going to go with yellow. Orange, yellow, both great to add to your salad. Orange is nice. It adds some color. So does the yellow. You could have used red, green if that's what you like. But I will tell you that the red, orange, and yellow do have different phytonutrients than the green. So I'm going to talk about those. So what I've done to open it, I just run my knife around the edge and then peel it open. And then I just like to take out this kind of white stuff. It's totally edible. I actually don't know why I take it out, but that's kind of the thing to do, I guess, when eating peppers. It's kind of like the orange rind that nobody likes to have, or the orange, like the white pith. So yeah, I take that out, and then I like to just put it over the sink and knock the seeds. Now this is not going into my soup stock bowl because there's no real benefit to the seeds of peppers. So now I have these nice shells, and then just like everything else, I'm going to do a rough dice. So I like to slice it lengthwise first, and then I bundle it all up and cut it into, I think I'll do 3. So the coolest thing I think about peppers, especially when they're orange, yellow, and red, is they actually have 3 times more calcium than oranges. So it's so funny that we think oranges are the best source of calcium in the world or in the regular grocery store, I guess. But peppers actually have, I said calcium, vitamin C. Peppers actually have 3 times more vitamin C than oranges. Isn't that crazy? I wonder, did you guys know that? I thought it was so cool when I found that out. So way more vitamin C in peppers. For this time of year, that can be really useful. It's not cold and flu season, but allergies actually, if you have seasonal allergies, then having a lot of vitamin C will really help with that histamine response and help you be able to handle those seasonal allergies. So that's what it's great for. So that was my pepper, pretty fast. The next thing I'm going to do is my carrots. So I have 2 carrots here. Now these ones are organic, so I've decided not to peel them. I just gave them a really good scrub in the sink to make sure any dirt that was on them is now off. And when we're talking about vegetables, in my cookbook, Healthy Fresh Salads, I talk about how to wash your vegetables so you make sure that you get everything off. There's a lot of different ways to do that. If you're buying organic, then it's a little bit less important because they're not using those pesticides, so you don't have to worry about eating them. If you're buying conventional, non-organic, then you just want to make sure you give them a really nice clean. And I give, I think, 3 or 4 different techniques in my cookbook. So all I did here was I just cut off the ends, and then, so with carrots you can, if you want, grate them. Sometimes I like to grate them because it gives a nice finer texture. But in this salad, I love the crunch and the different big chunky textures, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to cut them in half, and then in half lengthwise, and maybe this big thick bit I'll cut into a quarter, and then I'm just going to cut them into chunks. So I'm cutting this in half. This is actually pretty small, this one tip, so I'm going to leave that as is. This one's a little bit fat, so I stick it on end and cut it down the middle. Watch your fingers. And then I'm cutting it into, I don't know, 1/2 centimeter little chunks. So this adds a really nice crunchy texture to the salad. So, so delicious this way. And we're getting some beautiful orange in there too. It's such like a rainbow in this salad bowl. And then same with the other carrot. I'm cutting it in half. And this big thick bit, turning it on end and carefully cutting it down the center. And then I think, yeah, for this one I will cut into quarters. Just so it's not too chunky, because these are really thick. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to cut these. The really cool thing about carrots is that they're very high in vitamin A, which again comes from the phytonutrients in there. So vitamin A, as we all know, and you've probably heard before, that carrots help you see in the dark. As a kid, I thought this was true, so I ate a lot of carrots. Never developed night vision, to my dismay. But it's not exactly true that it helps you see in the dark, but it really helps keep your eyes really healthy. And it's going to help prevent cataracts and glaucoma as well. So if you're someone who's prone to that, or you have family members who are starting to get cataracts, glaucoma, then carrots are really good to start adding to your diet as a preventative measure against those eye issues. Unfortunately, they won't help you see in the dark, but they do have a lot of impact on eye health. So I'm just finishing up my carrot here. Hopefully I'm not going too fast for you guys. Throw it in. And oh my goodness, look how beautiful this is starting to look. So colorful. Can't wait to dig in. Nice big salad. So the last thing going into the salad is corn, which is exciting because organic corn is starting to pop up in the markets now. I love corn raw. It's delicious on the cob cooked, but raw, it's still really, really, really good. And I feel like a lot of people don't eat it raw, so that's why I like to throw it into the salad raw. If you don't like it raw, you can totally roast it on the barbecue first. It's totally up to you. So you want to get these little kernels off the cob. Now this is the trick. It makes a big mess. Sometimes when I do this, I put it in the bowl already and then do it. So you can do that if you're worried. The only problem with that is I find my knife hits the edge of the bowl and it's really annoying. So I'm just going to go for it here. I think to make it a bit easier, I'm going to cut it in half first, which takes a bit of strength. And that will make it a little bit easier because as you start to remove the kernels from the cob, they kind of fly everywhere. I know last time I did this, I'm pretty sure, oh, it was in a cooking video actually that's coming up next week. I left a lot of corn on the floor and my dog was extremely happy to take care of it for me. He just made a noise in agreement. So I'm just running my knife along the edge and you can kind of feel where you start to hit the inner core because it's too tough. Well, not too tough to cut through, but it starts getting tough. Oh, awesome. We have a comment saying, thank you for the information. I would never thought of eating it raw. I know, right? We always cook it, but it's actually so good raw. I find it's almost sweeter when it's raw. It's very interesting. So I'm just running my knife gently along the side, and these little kernels are coming off. And you can see here, it's kind of, some of them are coming off in chunks, like this nice little chunk here, but I'm just going to break it apart a little bit so that we don't have any huge chunks in the salad. And when we toss the salad, it's going to break up anyways. But now we have these delicious little corn nuggets. If you guys want to try one, it's so good. It has a bit of a starchy taste, like just very slight, but oh, I just love it. I'm getting some of the silk in my salad. That's edible. I mean, it's kind of a weird thing to have in a salad. So if you took the silk off better than me, then you won't have that. But I have little strands of it. So again, I'm going to put the butt side down and then just run my knife along the edge. And actually, I am pretty impressed that this is not going everywhere. I think the secret is cutting it in half first, because when you don't, it's a big mess. It's really big. So the other thing I wanted to say about corn is that it's really important to buy organic corn. And the reason being is because corn, when it's not organic, 90% of the corn grown in Canada and US, if it's not organic, is genetically modified. So that means they've gone in to the DNA of the corn and added pesticides at a genetic level. Now, some people are really for GMOs, which is genetically modified organisms, and that's because it makes farming a lot easier. The reason I'm always a little bit hesitant is because I don't feel there's been enough studies that it's safe for human consumption, because they're changing the protein structure of these fruits and vegetables. And protein is actually usually what causes people to have allergies to fruits and vegetables and milk and gluten and all that stuff. So in my opinion, I would want to stay away from it because we don't know how our bodies are going to react to those modified, kind of brand new Franken proteins. So that's just my opinion. All right, so that's everything that goes in this beautiful salad. There's all of our veg. Now it is time to make our dressing. So I'm just going to bring these ingredients over here, and we will make our dressing. So delicious. So the first thing that goes in our dressing is garlic. So I have right here a beautiful fresh garlic clove from my Grammy's garden. And I'm going to be, instead of, you could just mince it if you wanted to. Instead, I'm going to put it in a magic bullet and blend it because I'm lazy and I'm mixing everything else in here anyway. So go ahead and do that right now, and I'll explain why we're doing it early in a second. Perfect. So there we have our minced garlic. Love it. So the reason we like to do garlic first is because it actually helps turn the Allen into allicin. And the allicin in the garlic is what actually has all the health benefits. It has a really cool thing of increasing iron metabolism. So if you are vegan, vegetarian, or just generally have low iron, then adding garlic, especially raw, into your diet will be really great for increasing the uptake of iron into your cells and the release of the iron out of your cells so your body can actually use it. So that is the cool thing about garlic. So I like to do this, stick it in there. I think I flung it around a bit. And then I'll let it sit for a moment while we get our next ingredient, which is avocado. Gotta love it. So I'm just to cut this avocado, I run the knife around the edge, and we're only using half, and then I twist it open. It's good. You never know with avocados if they're gonna be like good inside, so very pleased. So we're only using half. And what I like to do with my avocados, and I've said this in other videos, I really like to peel them. And the reason is because there's a lot of antioxidants in this beautiful green layer, and if you scoop it out, a lot of that ends up staying on the skin and you miss out on it. And if you peel it, it peels actually quite clean. So I peeled it, and then I'm just gonna roughly dice it. And this works as the kind of creamy part of our ranch salad. On top of that, it's also a great source of healthy fat that will help us absorb the fat-soluble vitamins that are in all of these delicious veggies. So vitamin A, D, E, and K. So all of that vitamin A that's in the carrots, we need this healthy fat to help us absorb it. And then the rest of the ingredients that go in here, I'm just gonna eyeball it because that's how I roll, but on page 11, everything's written out for you. So what are we adding? We are adding some almond milk. Now we had a great question about almond milk before this started. Someone asked what's the difference between the almond milk that's shelf stable and the stuff in the fridge? So the biggest difference, usually all the ingredients are the same, but it's the processing that's different. The stuff that is shelf stable gets left at high heats for a longer period of time because it really wants to make sure that everything is killed so that it can sit on the shelf. Whereas the stuff in the fridge still goes through those high heats, but not for nearly as long. So that's the difference. And I'm just gonna pour this in here. It says 3 to 5 tablespoons. I probably did about 5 there. Might have done more. So you can kind of put as much as you think is good, and then we'll blend it, and if you need more, you add more. What else do we have in this beautiful thing? Chives. I love chives. These are beautiful chives. Again, don't have a garden, so I can't add them. And I also have dill that I'm going to put in. Now, what I like to do here, kind of made this awkward for myself, but I'm going to just give them a really light chop because I find when I'm blending these in my blender, they tend to kind of get caught. I don't know, it's weird. So I'm just giving them a really light dice here. And you'll notice with this dill, I'm doing it stems and all because the stems have a lot of flavor too. And we're blending it, so it's not like we're gonna have these like stemmy chunks anywhere. So someone's asking if the refrigerated almond milk is better. Yeah, I would say because it's not heated for as long, but both of them are heated, so a lot of the active enzymes and stuff like that are going to get killed in the process anyway. In an ideal world, we'd all make our own almond milk every 4 to 5 days, and I have a recipe for that on my website if you search almond milk. So you can do that. In a not so ideal world, then the fridge stuff is better than the shelf stuff, but it's marginal because they're both heated and pretty much pasteurized. So I would say it's not a huge decision factor in which one you buy. A bigger factor would be what the ingredients are, because you want to make sure that you're not, some people react really poorly to carrageenan, some people react really poorly to xanthan gum, and both of those are added to most store-bought almond milks to help with kind of the thickness. But people with digestive issues will react to one, the other, or sometimes both. And it's really hard to find one that doesn't have some sort of thickening agent to make it more like real milk. So I've added in my herbs. Now I'm also adding dried parsley. Again, I don't have a garden, but you could use fresh, and I would definitely recommend it for sure. I'm just going to eyeball it. Whatever I said on page 11 is how much I'm supposed to be putting, but you know, I just throw it in. Parsley, what else are you putting? Apple cider vinegar, this gives it the tang. You could also use lemon juice. You don't want to put too much. I put just a tablespoon or more. I don't know. I just kind of dump it in. And that's how we do it. Someone's asking here, does it come cost prohibited if you make your own almond milk? That's a good question because almonds are pretty expensive. However, you only need 1 cup of almonds to make 3 cups of almond milk. So it's actually not that bad, depending on where you buy your almonds. If you can find a place to buy like organic almonds in bulk and then just keep them in the freezer so they don't go bad, then you can get a lot more bang for your buck. And then I'm just adding salt and pepper because, you know, gotta put it in there. And then I'm gonna blend this until smooth. So I'm gonna blend it, probably smush it around for a bit, blend it again, and see how it's going. Usually I give a little shake. There we go. Oh yeah, this is blending really well. So you can see it's kind of a liquidy-ish texture. All right, let's see here. So I'm just going to give it a taste. Now, for this size salad, if you're eating it all right away, you might want to double this recipe. Oh yeah. Oh, that's good. Oh my gosh, the dill, the fresh dill. I just love fresh dill. And look how bright and vibrant green that is. Oh my gosh. This also makes a really good dip, especially if you put a little bit less almond milk. It's thicker, and you can use it as like a carrot dip. Well, maybe even this is thick enough. Let's see. Can you tell I'm hungry? Huh. Oh my gosh, so good. So then you would just dress your salad. No, I'm not going to dress the whole thing now because I know I'm just going to have a portion of this. If you're eating the whole thing, serving it all at once, go ahead, dump it on. Probably, if you like a lot of dressing, double this sauce recipe. I think it's because my avocado is a really small one. Just so you have a little bit more. If you're going to be eating it later, or just a one-size serving now, you could just serve a little bit for yourself right now, put some dressing on, smush it around, and enjoy it. If you want to save it for later, I would say save the dressing separately. And if you've used a whole avocado, then you can always add this pit in with this dressing to make sure it doesn't brown. There's also the apple cider vinegar in there that's going to help as well. So that's all there is to it. We just made this delicious market ranch salad in under half an hour. And it was only slow because I was talking so much and had some issues at the beginning. So before we go, I just wanted to let you guys know that my cookbook, Healthy Fresh Salads, is for sale. So it's been digital for quite a while now. So on my website, jessielanewellness.com/healthy-fresh-salads, you can pick up the digital copy for only $8. It's like $7.99. So cheap. But, because I know a lot of you really like having a print copy, I have good news. You can buy it in print now too. Woo! So this is the print copy. You can get that on Amazon.com. We're working on the .ca, and then my other cookbooks hiding behind it too. If you like desserts, let me tempt you. So you can pick those up. It has over 30 salad recipes. So if you're someone who's in a salad rut, making the same old boring salad, you're like so sick of it, then this cookbook is great. It's also really good for people who just hate vegetables because these salads are so tasty. So it's going to turn you into a veggie lover. I had over 30 recipe testers helping me test all of the recipes, making sure that they were really good, making sure they loved the recipes, and that their families love them as well. So these are kid-friendly recipes too. So you can find this, there's a link on it through my website at jessielanewellness.com /healthy-fresh-salads, or you can go to amazon.com and search Healthy Fresh Salads or Jessie Lane Lee, something to that extent, and it'll pop right up. And it is $16 US. So still really great. Full color, so it's just beautiful inside. You still get all of the pictures, everything, all the info is in here. So you won't miss out if you want to do print or digital. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I really hope you enjoy this delicious salad, and I can't wait to see you in the next live cooking class, which is, it's a month from now. But if you're on my mailing list, you'll hear about it, so don't worry. And if there's any questions, you can just hop back over to the chat box now, type them in, and I will stick around for another 5 minutes or so I can answer them. Thanks, guys. Who's here? Oh, yay! I have a great comment here. It says, another awesome webinar. Everyone should buy this salad book. It is wonderful. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad you like it. The digital copy allows you to go through the store with it on your phone. Oh my God, that's so cool. I never even thought of how good that would be. Yeah, it works really well on my phone. Whenever I'm making recipes from it, I just have it on my phone in the kitchen. As a result, my phone's a little bit covered in food, but you know, it wipes down, so it's not too bad. So yeah, you can get either one, whatever works best for your lifestyle. Yay, okay, so I don't see any other questions popping up, but thank you guys so much. Any more questions, you can always send me an email, info@jessielanewellness.com. Good night, everyone.